Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
All right, good morning. So today we're going to have a little fun. We always like to have fun in this show, but today our guests, Sarah and Jameson with Fast Lane Classic Cars, located right here in St. Charles. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so this is awesome. So, all right, so I'm looking at your website right here. We sell investments that accelerate. You know, that's just kind of an awesome little catchy quote here, you know?
Yeah.
So you guys do a lot of, for the folks that don't know Fast Lane Classic Cars, what are you guys all about?
Yeah. So we are a classic car dealership, based in St. Charles, Missouri.
Yep.
We house 150 to 175 classic and muscle cars.
Yeah.
We sell all over the country, overseas. And we also have a service department, a detail department, event space, a gift shop, photo booth, all the things.
Yeah.
All the things.
Well, you got a pretty cool space. We were fortunate to be able to be at an event recently that overlooks the showroom. So it's really cool looking at all the cars and just kind of having fun, right?
Yeah.
So
we love that event space. It's really good for us. It allows us to meet people like you. So yeah.
Well, so you got investments so I'm a pun guy, right? So I always say I'm a punny guy, you know. Do you see that?
I've noticed that.
Is that
Yeah.
fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because it's funny and pun. I don't know. The people get my dad jokes is what I always wonder, right? So investments that accelerate, right? Because you got the speeding of the car, right? But you also, really a lot of the inventory that you guys have isn't just everyday driving in a lot of cases, right? These are investments as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we, like Sarah said, we have 150 plus classic cars, muscle cars.
Yeah.
I like to say if it's made between 1925 and 2025, you'll find it in our showroom.
Yeah. So, all right. So you guys, there's got to be a favorite car you have, right? So what are you guys drawn to? Does it change or is it staying kind of classic? It's I've always wondered, do people just switch every now and then?
I mean,
Switch favorite cars.
Yeah.
I mean, Jameson, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure he has a list.
I mean, I could probably talk for an hour about all the cars I like.
Yeah.
I'm generally a Porsche guy.
Okay.
But I have gained a lot of appreciation for all different types of cars since working here. And I've actually found that I've become more having more of affinity to like weird stuff, things that you don't see a lot.
Yeah.
Right? We see
I get that.
Camaros, Corvettes all the time, and they're great.
Right.
But when an Oldsmobile Tornado from 1973 comes in, you don't normally see those. And it's like, it's a huge car. It looks like a aircraft carrier, right? And it's got a really interesting shape to the interior and things I never would have thought to look at.
Yeah.
Design wise, like at cars.
Yeah.
I feel like I notice just because I'm up close and personal with them more often now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I really don't have a favorite because I'm not your typical car girl. I mean, I got into the industry a little differently than most that decide to come sell classic cars. But
Well, we got to talk about that too.
and we will, yeah, we will. So, but I don't know. I mean, I like the old Chevy trucks and the old GMC trucks with the like real wood beds. If they're restored and they're just like restored to original. It just I don't know. There's something about like the Americana of like an old pickup truck.
I like that.
I'm married to a farmer, so that kind of like leads into it. But yeah, I don't know. I really like those old pickups.
I like it.
Anything green, like green.
So green is your color.
Man. Yes, when David buys anything green, it's like, oh, here it is. This is the next one. This is my next favorite.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm more of an engine. I like the round that big nice V8 kind of or it doesn't have to be a V8, but that nice real big rumble
like
thing.
the sound.
Yeah, the sound.
Yeah.
So with the whole EV thing, I can't get into it. I don't understand it because they drive fast. They're really kind of fun and flowy, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a car to me.
Well,
that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think, especially for us, obviously we're not selling electric vehicles. Or
maybe one day they'll be classics.
One day,
you know, I don't know.
Day. I mean, I don't know. We've had a smart car before, which I was like, why do
we've sold we don't get a lot of EVs.
Yeah.
We've had Rivians. We've had we've had a Tesla or two.
Yeah.
But we're generally not. We're not the best place to try to sell something like that, just because our typical market.
Well, the muscle car, When I don't think of classic, when I hear classic cars, I don't think EVs.
No,
I just don't.
No.
Oh, definitely not.
No.
Yeah, so I like that hum of that engine and things like that. So, but I like the truck thing. I'm kind of an SUV guy myself. Yeah. So, all right. So, Sarah, you mentioned how did you get into this business?
Okay, so David and Laura, the owners. They've owned Fastlane for 31 years. David's my stepfather.
Okay.
So he married my mother 27 years ago, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry. And so she was selling him. She was in automotive advertising.
Okay.
She walked into his small little dealership. He had like 5 cars.
Yeah.
And she
still in St. Charles.
Still in St. Charles.
Yeah.
Always in the same spot.
Same spot.
Always,
just keep moving up the hill.
Yes. Always in the same spot. But she just walked in one day selling him an ad for Harman Autos, and next thing you know, he's like, "Do you want to go shopping with me? I need some shoes." And she's like, "I don't know you. Like, I don't." And it was actually my birthday. She's like, "No, I have to take my daughter to a concert today." I was 11, and he's like, "Okay, well, what about tomorrow?" Do you remember
what concert?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't my first.
Okay.
I went to a couple before that. But anyway, long story short, they met, fell in love. She stopped advertising, went to work for David. They got married a year later, and the rest is kind of history. So they just built a business, kind of from the ground up. Now, David, obviously being in the business before he met her for a few years, and his story is also really unique. It would probably take up 30 minutes. But anyway, long story short, I never thought I was going to be in the business myself.
Yeah.
I just always watched my parents, proudly watched my parents grow this business from the ground up. And I went into hospitality management after college. And, it's hard to have a family when you're doing that, like working hotel hours and all that jazz. Yeah. And so one day I walked in with my resume and I sat down with David and I had an interview, and he's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I mean, it didn't feel like it was going to be a forever thing. It was just like looking to, change it up. And 13 years later, I'm still here.
There you go.
And I'm not going anywhere.
That's awesome.
It's kind of in the blood.
Well, hospitality, that's a lot of what you do. Though,
absolutely.
Right? I mean, this is a niche thing, in car sales, I guess that in general, but I don't think you guys act like sales guys there either.
No.
Right? I think it's really kind of the opposite. You just kind of walk around and show people some pretty cool stuff.
Right. I think you can speak of. I'm sorry, I'm just chat.
Go ahead.
But that's the thing that I think is the most important piece of what we're doing there is we're really trying to create a culture and a feel where you can walk around and not feel the pressure of getting hounded by someone. And no disrespect to the other car dealers. I mean, they've got to sell cars.
Sure,
we do too. But we want first and foremost for people to come and just experience. Americana experience, what we have to offer. And then if they are interested in a car, obviously we're there to strike up conversation. Our sales guys are really good at talking. So they'll just sit there and have a quality conversation, whether you're buying a $20 shirt, nothing, or a, $50,000 car.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, it's always free to come visit Fastlane. I mean, you've been there. We have 3 showrooms, and there's memorabilia, there's antiques, there's cars, obviously. There's something for everybody at Fastlane. We're open Monday through Saturday for free. People can come look. We don't hound people or ask them, try to get them to buy something. It's not a museum. We don't consider ourselves a museum, but it kind of got that vibe to it.
It has a little bit of a vibe.
And people come. We have people who come on a Saturday and they drive their Corvette like they're going to the car show, and they just park in the parking lot.
Yeah.
They come in, they say hi. They walk around, they look and see what we got, and they go off to whatever they're doing the rest of the, I mean, that happens almost every day at work.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of builds that community, right? Exactly. Which I think a big thing of that's important to you all is 100%. That community aspect. You guys do a lot of events, and, like we had some events in that event space overlooking the showroom, but you guys put on a lot of just events in your parking lot and things like that too.
We do. So we have a Cars and Coffee event the second Saturday of every month.
Yeah, I was just looking at that on Facebook. Yeah, they're great pictures.
Jameson. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jameson.
Thank you.
He's very good at getting the word out there.
And
but
Jake.
And Jake, yes, Jake, our photographer, he's the best.
He's top
But
notch.
shout out to Jake. No, I mean we do this Cars and Coffee. We partner with Cars and Coffee St. Louis, and there's an event every Saturday.
Yeah, they have events all throughout the month.
But we kind of own the second Saturday, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's just from like 8 to 10 in the morning. But of course, there's people that are showing up at 7 and they're leaving at 11. And it's packed. It's bananas.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. It's neat to see so many different age groups and families. And, you know, you've got the guys that are the older generation who's been around the cars their whole life and they're driving a street rod. And then you've got the younger guys who just are starting out and they've got, you know, something is typically like, you know, cool souped up Honda Civic or something like that. And then you've got the supercars of, you know, the people who want to show off their luxuries. But it's neat because everyone gets along and everyone is just really, it's just a really good culture while you're there and you're seeing the car culture in St. Louis, and it's really something. It's something to see.
Yeah.
What I love most about it is everything you said. Plus, you see a lot of families there.
Sure.
You know, parents pushing strollers with their little kids.
Yeah.
And we hear stories of adults bringing their kids who say, I came here when I was a kid.
Yeah.
David talked to me in his Donald Duck voice, like he
does.
does.
The infamous Donald Duck voice.
And people remember that. And I look at that and I say, those kids are having that same experience.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever, 20 more years, that person's going to come back. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah,
right?
that's amazing.
And say the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Because kind of every day when we come in and to work and talk about the things we're working on, like we don't necessarily say the words to each other that we're saying right now, but that's at the top of mind for us when we're making our decisions on how we're moving forward.
Yeah.
Right.
So how many cars do you guys run through, like get in on a monthly basis? Obviously it varies, but.
Well, if you sell 40 or 50, you have to bring 40 or 50 in your inventory. So we do. I mean, on average, weekly, probably 12 to 15.
Yeah.
You know, if we're at auction, we don't do a ton of buying and selling at auction, but David does like to go to auctions and see what's out there. So every once in a while, if we come home with a handful of cars, you know, it's always exciting. It's funny, you know, when they're coming back. Like, oh, what did David get? You know,
well, so that's where I was kind of going at.
You know, drooling.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I assume mechanics and sales folks get really excited about certain kind of things coming in, right? Like there's a big aura that comes with it.
So, I mean, this morning, Whack dropped off a bunch of cars.
Cars,
right? You bought a Viper.
We bought a Viper. And we bought a
don't see many of those
75
anymore.
Corvette.
Oh yeah, the 75 Corvette.
Nice.
Very nice. It's blue. Yeah, it's a Dodge Viper. A GTS, probably a 96 or a 97.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's red. It's beautiful.
So red looks really good on fast cars, like sports cars.
Called retail red.
Yeah, I'm not a red
Retail
guy
red.
personally.
Me neither.
I'm not.
No.
You know, we know you're green.
Well, I drive a white car. I'm very blah when it comes to the Sarah bus is white.
So I like the red, but there's only certain cars that can come in like yellow too. I feel like there's certain, you know,
some cars do not look good in colors for sure.
But like Corvettes in yellow are pretty solid, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The late model.
Depends on your generation, I think. But
that lime green, like there's not a lot of cars that pull off lime green, but some do.
Mopar
cars do look good in the lime green.
Yeah, plum crazy, Hemi orange.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you talked about Mopar. So Dodge, you know, they were known for their muscle car, right? And then they just kind of started going down that whole EV path, and then now it seems like they're kind of going backwards on that.
Seems like I don't keep up super close with like the current you know, market news for like
they're the future classics. So you got 20-something years to figure that out.
But I did we just get to wait, and all the cars that suck they all land in junkyards.
Yeah,
I won't have to deal with those.
Yeah,
right? But yeah, someday that's a conversation we have just for fun sometimes around the office. Is like, oh, in 20 years, what kind of cars do you think we might have? Like, what are the cars now that'll be classics? Then so it'll be fun to see how that plays out. You know?
Absolutely.
And it trends. Like, you know, I made a joke comment earlier about some of the older guys driving their street rats, but you don't really see those anymore. I mean, not as much. They're few and far between as 10, 15 years ago when you saw them a lot more. People aren't putting as much money into, restoring those as they would maybe, a Corvette or a Mustang.
Yeah.
There's fewer people that are in love with those type of cars
Correct.
now.
Yeah. As people age out,
We see more
so.
90s sports cars, 90s trucks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
80s cars, some. Yeah.
Yeah, 80s did actually have some kind of cool cars. I always liked the DeLorean. I think that was the Back to the Future thing.
Definitely.
You guys ever get those in? Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Oh, yeah. We just sold one a few months ago. Yeah.
Do they have a flux capacitor? Is that standard or is that an add-on?
Not standard.
I had a feeling.
We did sell, this was a few years ago, but we did sell a replica time machine DeLorean.
Yeah.
It came from a museum. I can't remember exactly where the museum was, but it came from a museum and it was like really nice. It was legit. That's the word. Had everything you could think of. It made all the sounds. It had all the buttons. It had the flux capacitor. You could sit in there and dial the dial pad and beep, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
It had a speaker in it.
Yeah.
If I remember, it had it on display at a museum, obviously, and it was like an SD card with the music from the movie and scenes from the movie in it. It was pretty neat. I was actually pretty sad when we sold it.
It was sad.
It was
sad, but it was a huge draw. So we had it around the holiday, or not holidays, but Halloween.
Okay.
And so David used it as part of his costume.
Nice.
And he dressed up as Doc.
Okay.
And then he came to my neighborhood, because my kids are still young, so they're like doing the trick or treat thing. He parked it wonky, and he stood out there looking crazy, and he had a lab coat and hair,
crazy hair wig.
Oh my gosh, it was.
I would have put some like fog machine thumb underneath it, so you could get with the doors coming up.
He was like the talk of the night in the neighborhood. I was like, oh my goodness.
No, this thing didn't run on plutonium, though, right? All right. Oh, good.
That was one detail that they left out.
Yeah.
That's probably for the best.
Yes.
I would think.
Probably.
That would have been hard to sell.
All right. So you guys have sold a lot of cars. What's the most crazy car that you've sold? Any thoughts? Yeah. I want to say crazy, and then the highest, most expensive one.
Well, most expensive would be the Ford GT.
Ford GT?
2020 Ford GT.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I wish I knew the numbers off the top of my head. They didn't make very many.
Yeah.
I mean, that's from the factory, a $500,000 car.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sold it for 1.2.
But there aren't
1.2.
There are not very many, so the market for them is very strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so low mileage, I would think.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So these don't get driven.
This one didn't.
Yeah.
No. And I mean, you're going to spend that kind of money. Are you really driving it that far?
Yeah.
And you're staring at it.
So, and that's an interesting thing, right? Because I would have a hard time.
Oh yeah.
If I'm buying a car, I'm probably buying a car that I would drive.
Yeah.
At least some.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's me.
A car like that, I mean, everyone likes different things, which is
right.
Another great thing of working in this type of business is you get to work with all kinds of people who like all different things.
Right.
A car like that, a Ford GT, is legitimately a race car.
Right.
That's built for the street.
So
and
that's
even
true.
Forget the cost of it for a minute. Like, it's not super practical to drive around. You can barely see out of it. And you hit a tiny curb and it's going to rattle your teeth out.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So maybe I'm not everyday driving this.
Well, I would say though, the majority of the cars that we sell, I mean, people are driving these. They may not be driving them every day.
Right.
Although we have sold some cars that I'm questionably are you sure you want to drive this every single day and put the miles? But that's their own prerogative. They're spending money. It's their own money, right?
Yeah.
People buying cars for their kids, their young kids.
Yeah.
Are
you sure? Are you sure that you want to buy that?
Not to criticize people's choices, but sometimes
it has 800 horsepower in it. That might not be a good one. But anyway, I mean, most of what we sell, they are either taking to car shows or they're taking it out on the weekends at least. I mean, they're usually being driven a little bit at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, our market, the type of cars we sell aren't typically not your super high end collector cars that are, garage.
Right, and you'll run through them, but that's not the bulk.
This Ford GT is a very, I'll say oddball type. We don't typically trade in those kind of cars.
It was fun to have,
but
though.
It's pretty.
It drew a lot of attention.
And
yeah. Well, it's cool. I mean, you get to see some excitement coming in. Now, you guys do the detailing. You guys do mechanic work as well.
Yeah.
So for obviously cars that come in on the lot, and then you got to get them ready as well. But people also bring their classic vehicles up and trust you to make sure that it's taken care of as well.
Sure. So we can sign cars as well. I mean,
Okay.
the thing I think is the most important piece of the puzzle is, if we have 150 cars on our lot, you don't know what Fastlane owns and what's consigned. And that's intentional.
Right.
We don't want people to think that we treat them any differently. So they don't.
We don't.
They're
Yeah.
they're underneath one of our 3 showrooms. They get the full detail. They get the full mechanical look over to make sure that they're right and sound to sell. Professional photo shoot, a professional write-up.
Mhm.
They go on 20 plus nationally seen websites, eBay, and our website. So the marketing, nothing changes whether we own the car or someone's consigning their car to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Truthfully, when I'm working through our inventory, I don't even know.
You don't pay attention.
I don't even know what's
It's just a new
consigned or
car
what
that we got in.
own.
Yeah.
Right.
We truly don't
No,
pay attention to that.
no.
Yeah.
It should.
From the marketing side.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a good thing. I've seen that other places that have consignment. It's like there's a whole consignment area and they treat it differently. It looks different.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't have the same respect or anything either. So that makes sense.
They're all different. I mean, the industry in general, a lot of times people just think, oh, you're just a warehouse, like you're just cars in a warehouse. But I mean, we're definitely unique and different in the fact that we are a true attraction.
Right.
But a lot of these classic car dealerships, they do just consignment.
Yeah.
And that's, hey, there's something to be said about that too. You're not opening up your own wallet.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Capital.
So to speak. But there's a lot of advantages to purchasing ourselves, right? So we just have a little bit more leverage in how we can handle things. If it needs new tires, if it needs, an extra buff wax, if, there's extra things on it that need more attention.
Sometimes putting a little money into a car will make it more marketable. We can ask more for it.
Yeah.
If a car has air conditioning or, some other accoutrement, let's say.
Yeah.
We can market it for more too. And if we own it, we can just do that.
Right. Right. Now, are you seeing, I mean, obviously we're talking about classic cars here. So a lot of this is fairly, I'm gonna say not simple is probably not the right word, but less electronics. And that's gonna become more electronic components as we've gotten more newer vehicles. But you guys run through some fairly newer stuff too. I mean, even in the 90s, a lot of it was run on electronics, right?
Yeah.
Does that change some of that? Does that make it a little bit more challenging? Or I would think that some of the older school stuff is the older stuff. It's just easier to work on, a little bit more fun to work on too. But maybe I'm just naive in this. Let me rephrase. I know I'm naive in this.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like it's a real mix. I know that when we're looking to add to our team in the service department, it's sometimes difficult to find people who understand how to rebuild a carburetor or work on older cars. But I also know that often when cars will come to us, newer cars, 90s sports cars, for example, to give the example you made, often give our techs the most trouble and have to get outside help to figure out how to get the computer to do what they want it to do. Right? So I think, overall, yes, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. But it's, I guess the answer is it's kind of case by case. Every car is a little different and has its own quirks, let's say.
Sure.
Right?
Yep. I would agree with all that. I mean, we don't have to deal with a ton of the high tech stuff because we're not selling a ton of super late model stuff. But, for instance, Jags might be a little more difficult and a little out of our wheelhouse to work on. So you may have to send it to Jag or, BMW or whatever. So anything that's a little more obscure might be.
We have partnerships and relationships with other places around town that are experts in these things that we lean on or take it to them.
Well, and I think that's what's kind of crazy is as we've gotten more technology in everything we do, right? It becomes, you have to become a little bit more of a computer programming side of things as well.
Sure.
It's kind of crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm sitting here going, some of these older classic cars in the 50s, 60s, probably a little bit more fun from a mechanical perspective to work on.
I would think so. I don't know much about mechanical things, so I couldn't speak to that. But I like to think that when our guys join our team, that they're excited to be able to work on stuff that you don't get to work on at most places, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, obviously it's still work, but these guys are, a lot of them anyway, they say they're living their dream. They're getting to wrench on some of the coolest the coolest stuff that they'll ever get to wrench on. You know? And I mean, I wouldn't say that it's still work, but it's fun work.
Well, you know what? You have to love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, it's kind of tough to go to work every day.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah. And you guys get to come in and see and restore classic vehicles. And like you said, you mentioned Americana a few times. I think that's really cool because you don't get to see that. And like, if you think about the old, American kind of what you think of, it is, a muscle car or a pickup truck or something like that. It's kind of, there's a car thing that I think that we have in our culture that not everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the community and just the overall vibe we like to try to build.
Yeah.
And I think people's relationships with cars is deep often, right? And then you're speaking to overall culture. This relationship with cars in America is also deep. And that is something that we, try to help celebrate,
Yeah. And the stories that come behind them, like the cars that we're either selling or buying from people, they always come with a background, and sometimes we're buying a one owner car that's been in the family for generations.
Yeah.
And, and a lot of times it's happy times that we're buying it. And sometimes it's sad times, but either way, I think it's special knowing that that we're a part of that journey for the car.
Sure.
I mean, to a lot of people, these are
right.
like children.
Right.
I mean, I tell people a lot that we kind of think of ourselves as sort of custodians for a lot of these cars, especially the older ones. Right?
Yeah.
And, when someone's getting rid of their car, selling their car, they want to know it's going somewhere that it'll be like loved and appreciated. Right?
Absolutely.
And I think that it's not like we interview everyone buying a car saying, you better love this car.
Yeah.
But generally, again, back to the overall community and vibe that we try to build, like that's just the kind of buyers we typically attract.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would agree.
Well, I mean, when you see a vehicle that's made it on the road and still looks like it's in really good shape and it's been 50 years on the road, like there's a pride that comes with that ownership. You want to have that legacy and you want to be able to have that legacy extend on for others to enjoy as well.
Yeah.
Right. That just kind of makes sense. All right. So if we wanted to host an event at Fast Lane Classic Cars, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, I mean, you can email me. You want me to give you my email?
You can do it. Yeah, we're going to put it on our show anyway. So folks, but for those that are listening, you can check it out, fastlanecars.com. You get rid of the classic on the website.
Yes, fastlanecars.com.
Right. Makes it easier.
You can just call us at 636-940-9969. Ask for Sarah. You'll talk to me personally. Our event team is just 2 people. So it's myself and my colleague, Veronica. But we do a lot of events. We've got an event space that can hold up to 80. We offer you 5 hours of time to utilize the space. You can bring in your own food, catering. Our only stipulation is obviously alcohol service has to come from a provided caterer that have the license and stuff. So
you
can view and browse the showroom.
Yeah.
Even if it's after hours.
Yeah. So after hours events, you can still walk around our showroom. That's a huge draw.
It is.
Of having the event space.
Well, it's kind of unique.
It is unique. Yeah. You're able to walk around with a cocktail and view the inventory, and it just gives your guests something extra to do. It's not just event space.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, 3 showrooms now.
3.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So where was the first one? Down the hill or up the hill?
Up the hill.
It was up the hill. So you guys can kind of come down a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Right?
So down and across.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
Yep. We were the first building is now our kind of restoration service department. The main building has the event space and the main showroom. And then down from that, the east showroom. And then across the street, we have detail and our 3rd showroom.
Cool.
Service department.
And then is it the second Saturday? What's the Cars and Coffee?
Cars and Coffee St. Louis. We host them the second Saturday of every month.
Second Saturday.
8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
All right.
But come earlier because it gets crowded.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And it's free, obviously. And you're welcome to obviously bring your car. There's no registration. You just come and park wherever you like. But you don't have to have a fancy car to come. If you want to just come and look, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Parking gets tight, but it's totally manageable. We never have any problems with it.
Yeah.
So nobody complains. So, but
Drool
just
over your
know if
favorite
you come at 8:42, going to be crowded.
Yeah.
You might take you a minute to find somewhere to park.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
And parking. It'll be fine once you're walking around, I know.
Right, yes.
But it's the
So,
parking.
and like, I mean, there are hundreds of cars that come. All of our lots are full. The streets are full. The streets are open, but the people park on the streets. Of course, our showrooms are full. They're full, yes, but they're open. Our gift shop obviously is
Sure.
open.
And there's a coffee truck on site,
And coffee truck.
which is nice.
There you go.
That's nice.
Seems like a great way to spend a Saturday.
Yeah, and we do
It is.
towards the end of the year, we do a lot of partnerships with local charities.
Yeah.
And so, we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up the fourth
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah, we have, we're doing a separate Cars and Candy event.
Yeah.
Oh, there
in
you go.
October.
Nice.
We'll be collecting toothbrushes.
Yeah, dental
That's
supplies.
We'll be giving out
ironically
candy
enough.
Yeah.
and collecting toothbrushes and toothpaste for local school children. who need
Very
them.
cool.
We do a food drive in November.
Okay.
We do a toy drive in December. Santa will be there again.
Santa's always
I love
Second
it.
Saturday.
Yeah.
See, all this is the community aspect is a very big deal. I think that's awesome. So, guys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
Yeah.
having you and talking about classic cars.
Thank you.
All right, folks, if you have not been able to go pay my friends a visit at Fast Lane Classic Cars, do yourself a favor. Head out to St. Charles. It's a real easy drive from really wherever you are in the area. Go check it out. There is something for everyone. You will have a good time, whether it's at one of their major events that they host, including the coffee and cars on Saturday mornings. That's kind of awesome. May as well have a cup of coffee and get a tour around the showroom with the other car enthusiasts, right? There's a lot of cool things to see. You can also check out their event space. You can host an event there. They've got all kinds of cool things that you can just look at, just an overview right onto the showroom floor from their event space. Pretty cool little place there. I was actually able to go to a network event recently held at Fastlane, and we had a great time. We talked about business. That's important. You got to make sure you protect the business that you have. But ultimately, what I love the most is just looking at down and seeing all those cool cars out there and just a lot of unique history that defines America. And that's what they do. They bring in that sense of community into everything they do. All the employees are very passionate about cars and really serving their community. They love hosting the events. It's exciting. How can it not be, right? You get to showcase the work that you put into it each and every day. And that is exciting. So I love it when businesses bring that sense of community into what they do each and every day. It's just, it makes a difference. And most of the successful businesses we talk to, that's a very common theme. You got to have that draw that brings people in. We love it here at Serenity Wealth. We do a lot of community events. It's a big deal. We want to be out there. We want to have fun. We want to educate. And that's what Fastlane does as well. Brings that sense of community into their establishment. And they ship all over the country. But you know what? They're located right here in our backyard. So go pay Fastlane Classic Cars a visit. You will not be disappointed right there in St. Charles, okay? So check us out, Serenity Wealth Now. And if you want to know what we're doing and where we are in our community, you can check us out on Serenity Wealth Now social media outlets. See you next week.
Serenity Now! This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.